no, listen, nobody on the panel cares about that type of shit except for Tony fucking Hinchliffe.
Wait,
this is some LA to Austin horse shit. That whole energy and attitude.
Can I bet, what do you...
There's a funny kind of irony in watching comedians roast each other at Skankfest while simultaneously pretending the New York vs. Austin comedy beef isn't real. Because the latest story wars in New Orleans basically turned into a live-action stress test for that rivalry. And Tony Hinchliffe ended up catching the majority of the shrapnel. Especially from Louis J. Gomez, who, whether intentionally or not, keeps pouring petrol on this whole New York to Austin tension every time he opens his mouth. From the moment Tony walks on stage, the tone is set. Louis introduces him with one of those jokes that sounds playful on the surface, but carries just enough edge to land like a jab.
Your next competitor coming to the stage, also a former Story Wars champion. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the one and only Tony Hinchliffe.
There's one guy in the front row alone is hilarious.
There's like 7 people who really think you're gay.
Don't worry, there's like 2,400 others who don't.
It's good to be here, everybody.
It's great
Thank
to
you
have
very
you,
much.
my man.
You are graced with my presence.
Thank you for doing the festival. I mean, year after year after year. I think 8 years in a row now you've done the festival.
I'm a man of the people. I believe in the streets, the peasants, the lowlifes. That's why I do it.
That's why you don't hook up with chicks. You belong to the people, man. You can't share it with somebody else.
I'm a man of the people.
Of the motherfucking people.
And I'm proud to be representing the gays here tonight. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Everyone is equal.
It's classic Skankfest energy. Absurd, chaotic, slightly mean, and designed to provoke a reaction. Because Tony and Louis also perform badly in the actual game for most of the episode, that dynamic becomes another punchline. But the biggest roasting moment doesn't even come from the sexuality bits.
When I was younger, I used to jerk off to help me fall asleep. One morning, my parent walked in to wake me up for school, and I had my dick in my lotion-covered hand, my shorts around my knees, and a towel on my chest to collect the cum.
I feel like this is either Louis or Doug submitted 11 stories.
Well, here's the deal. I will say this is very famously my technique. I will lay the towel on my belly, into the towel, fold the towel over my dick, wrap it up like a burrito, squiggle it out, throw it into the... Squiggle it out. Throw it into the hamper. Miss, because I'm not good at sports, but I still try.
And jerking off with lotion. Who doesn't fucking dry jack?
I don't, but I don't use lotion. I use coconut oil.
Now.
Baby oil.
Coconut
The smell
oil.
of baby oil will give me the random boner I could ever get anymore.
The lotion, it feels weird. It feels like my dick is burning.
I'm going
Trying
wrong.
to talk through it, but it doesn't matter. This is younger. When I was younger, I used to jerk off.
You talk it out like fucking LA Confidential or whatever, the crime fucking busters. Why is this fucking thing? Leave it off.
Alex, all of our answers are in.
All right, story number 4 belongs to...
Wait, who was it?
Tony Hinchliffe. Tony Hinchliffe.
Fuck.
Louis mocks him relentlessly for the shame and panic of the situation, and Tony himself admits it was filled with pure guilt and humiliation. It's one of those stories that's funny not because it's clever, but because everyone can feel the secondhand embarrassment radiating through the room. You can tell Tony's taking the hit in stride, but it's still one of those moments that sticks. Once a room locks onto a humiliating detail, it becomes comedy napalm. Nobody lets it go.
Look at that slimy hand.
I don't like the rules.
That's 5 points, Alex.
This is
4
like
points.
the tush push. There needs to be a rule change. I should be able to change it at the last minute before they announce.
And by the way, just to let you know, I had to edit the hell out of that to make it that short. The reality is that the bottle of lotion, which was normally nestled into a drawer, was a secret bottle of lotion that I had so that my mom never caught on to what I was doing, was next to the bedstand. So it was just absolute guilt and filth.
It was men's body lotion, but you thought it was a man's body.
Yes.
No, he used it for his face for so many years before he goes, oh, I can put this on my dick.
Yeah.
That's why they both glow.
I got caught. She literally walked in and goes, oh, Jesus fucking Christ, Tony. It was one of those where you're just waking up in pure shame.
Well,
And
Did
then
she make breakfast still?
No.
Ah.
No. I went to school hungry that day. Starving. And I remain that way.
listen,
I know
nobody on the panel cares about that type of shit except for Tony fucking Hinchliffe.
Wait,
This is some LA to Austin horse shit. That whole energy and attitude.
Can I bet, what do you call
So
them?
funny, the picture.
Can I
Parlay
bet
thing.
that it's
It's subtle shade, but it lands because it taps into the bigger subtext, this lingering sense that the Austin scene, and especially its most visible figures, carry a certain ego and territorial pride that rubs some New York comics the wrong way. And that's where this stops being just silly roast comedy and starts feeding into the wider narrative. Because Louis J. Gomez, intentionally or not, has positioned himself as one of the loudest critics of the Austin comedy ecosystem. He's consistently taken shots at the scene, questioned the talent pipeline, and framed the migration of comics to Texas as something closer to escape than evolution. Every time he roasts Tony publicly, especially in front of a big Skankfest crowd, it reinforces that dynamic. It stops being just friends clowning each other and starts looking like proxy warfare for two comedy cultures flexing. Tony, of course, represents the Austin side of that equation. He's one of the most visible faces of the Rogan-adjacent ecosystem, tied directly to Kill Tony, the mothership, and the broader Texas comedy migration. So when he gets dragged for his persona, his habits, his embarrassing stories, it doesn't just land on him. It symbolically lands on the scene he represents. What makes this interesting is that none of this feels malicious in the traditional sense. Nobody's actually trying to cancel anyone. This is comedians doing what comedians do, humiliating each other for laughs. But because the New York versus Austin tension already exists in the background, every roast gets interpreted through that lens, whether anyone intends it or not. It becomes less about whether Tony can take a joke, he obviously can, and more about what these jokes signal culturally. Who's punching up? Who's punching sideways? Who's subtly defending their home turf through humor instead of policy statements?